Hey guys, Drew here. I just wanted to give a quick prologue to this episode. My audio is going to be messed up for about the first 90-ish seconds. It gets fixed pretty quick. We recorded this one remote because I'm in Miami right now. You can probably hardly see me because it's really bright behind me right now. Got back from LA on Tuesday, left for here on Wednesday. So we had to record remote, a little more raw, a little less edits. Still getting the hang of it, but yeah, enjoy the show.
Well, should I open a beer for this? It is 3:30 in the afternoon.
You could. I mean, I'm personally. Yeah, I was thinking about it, but I'm going and playing floor hockey later, so.
I also have to do more work after this, so I don't know. I don't know if that's the best bet. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not like 100% right now. I'm sniffly a little bit and got a headache.
Same. Well, let me tell you, 2 weeks in a row of yelling at football games that are both in the rain, not great for your voice and just your overall health.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So we're recording this one a little bit differently today. We are remote because I got back from LA late last night, and I also have to leave again for a work trip tomorrow morning. So I'm in Chicago for slightly over 24 hours. Yeah, so this one's a little bit different, but
this first season, it's all about experimental, finding what's
exactly
what works. I mean, it took us 30 plus minutes to figure out all the audio stuff for this.
Yeah, but hey, you know what? The first time we did the in-person one, I think it took us an hour to set up. So
that's true. That's true.
An improvement. And hey, if we get used to this format too, we talked about we could also start doing some instant reaction type stuff.
I do think we should do that. Even Sunday after the game, or not
a quick
Sunday,
15, 20
Sunday
minutes.
morning,
yeah, while everything's fresh.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we gotta get the format down. I will say, I know Chris Hassel and Andrew Downs, they do that instant reaction podcast, and they put a clip of it on Twitter after the game, and it was just Andrew being like, Chris, I gotta be honest with you, I don't want to fucking be here right now. And Chris was like, me neither, man, me neither.
I saw that.
Which, quite accurate. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if we were recording this, on Saturday, I would not want to be here either.
Yeah. Dude, it would have been fun to do one after the game, near the Coliseum. The USC fans are kind of dicks. I will tell you that much. They are not pleasant people to be around. I gotta be honest with you. Even before the game started, it was not friendly banter. It was just hostility. I thought two of them were gonna fight us just for wearing Iowa clothing. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's just kind of what you're gonna get from some of those. The thing is, I was gonna say some of those schools out west, but Oregon seemed to be very nice.
Oh yeah, well, I thought the Oregon fans were really nice. Yeah, even the ones I saw at the game. Which I know that's also a different environment. They're the away team there, but
yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. USC, they're very, they come from a certain area that's very privileged, very, kind of.
LA is a different kind of football.
Yeah.
And let me tell you,
ones. I mean, no one shows up to the.
Up.
Yeah, I was just about to say
there was
that.
Fucking no one at that game.
Yeah, the ones that are going to show up are the ones that are actual, I guess, diehards that are assholes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's not even a Philly fan or a Boston fan where oh, y'all are assholes, but all of y'all show up.
Yeah, that's also true. Yeah. Put your money where your mouth is kind of
even the Twitter interactions that I've seen, it's just just being dicks for no reason, being absurdly biased. Everyone's going to be biased towards your team, but I was seeing so much stuff on how Iowa got lucky with the refs. That game, and we'll get into that.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Our turn to be biased. Those refs fucking sucked.
Yeah, and there was again, we'll get more into that, but I think it went way more towards against Iowa, but there were some from both sides, and I'm here to admit it. There were these people on people on Twitter. I know it's Twitter, but they were USC didn't get a single call. I literally saw people writing that.
That's
and I'm
crazy.
I'm just dude,
I got receipts for 3 of them right here.
yeah. No, I mean, we've got receipts on a lot of these, but yeah, I guess, what do you want to go into? I mean, obviously.
Yeah, what do we start with? Well, I guess should we just start with the first half, because what a half. Yeah. One half of football.
I almost I didn't even write anything down for the first half because I was just the second half was just so sad.
It completely wiped it out. I think it is we can't brush over the fact that first half might be the best half of football we played all year, though.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
which sucks because the second half was one of the worst.
Yeah, I mean the offense looked so good.
Yeah, I mean just the play calling was the Philly special, the triple option, 2 touchdowns, just ridiculous. Those passes, that pass that Gronowski hit to Gill on the run for the first down, absolutely insane. That's the best pass I've seen in a long time.
Was the one where I think it was the tight end Vaname, like was that Gill or him that caught it along the sideline and then he like ran for like
Gill's the one who caught it on the sideline, like went up for it, grabbed it, and then ran up the sideline. Vaname got that
never mind. Then that is the one that I was thinking of too. That was such a good
Vaname
pass.
Also had that big one though. He had where they ran I don't know if it was like a screen pass or I was on the opposite end zone from us, so I couldn't really tell. Like it was like a tight end screen or something where he just came off the line and he was just completely open in the flat and ran it for like 20 yards, which I thought was very funny because they ran that same play call against us the previous possession and torched us, and we ran the exact same one.
Yeah, I mean the passing looked good. The offense was moving the ball like I haven't like seen in a while against like a great opponent.
Yeah,
I know USC's defense isn't amazing. It's more like their offense, but still, I mean, I guess.
And we were passing in the rain too.
Yeah. Yeah,
like it wasn't ideal conditions for the kind of offense we were running in that half.
Yeah, I almost think that USC might have been like not scared to throw, but like obviously we saw in the second half just the complete flip.
Yeah,
where I think they
I will say it also the rain really let up in the second half. That helped.
Yeah. Oh,
it let up for just in time for them to score 19 points. Exactly. It let up, they started scoring, and then when they scored those last points, it started raining again. It was just awful timing.
And I couldn't really tell much on the watching because also again I was working, but I was able to watch majority of it. Wasn't able to watch the sound, but just watching the game as much as I could while also working.
Yeah, absolutely.
Should we get in the second half?
Well, really quick. So one more thing on the first half. Yeah. That Philly special. First of all, it happened. We were sitting in the end zone. It happened right in front of us. One of the greatest things I've ever seen. Cassidy has a great video of after the Philly special, and it's just myself and my friend Michael with just flabbergasted looks on our faces. We cannot believe it. I'm not sure how our website works with storage, so if the video's not too big, I'll put that up in the link dump because it is very funny.
I mean,
if not, maybe I could just post on our Instagram too, I guess.
Yeah. No, I mean, that play was like I just remember being in the office with everyone and we all watched that play and everyone was just like, wait, this is Iowa? Iowa just did that. And I was just like, yeah. We haven't had a QB in years. We finally get a QB and then we have our wide receiver throwing dimes now. What is going on?
That was the part where I was like, because they ran the reverse with Wheatgen earlier in the game and it worked pretty well. Yeah. And then they ran that the reverse, but it was to Vanderzee. And I was like, why the fuck are we running a reverse to Vanderzee? And then I see Gronowski with 10 yards open in the end zone. I was like, oh my God, he's going to throw it.
And it wasn't like he was wide open. He was open, but the defender was closing in on him. And Vanderzee kind of threw a dime.
Yeah, and he threw the one last year too. So fun fact, Hawass tweeted out, Vanderzee now has a passer rating of 472. He's the national leader, followed by Ohio State's Julian Sayin at 192.
I love that.
So we have the best quarterback in the nation in recent
years. If anyone ever says anything about our QBs, we have number one.
Which he did play quarterback in high school too. So that makes a little sense.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
It does make sense that he threw a dime like that.
Yeah. And then that other touchdown too, the throw to Gill, I think that was a triple option. Because it looked like Gronowski started to scramble, and then he kind of hit him in the back of the end zone on the run, which we'll get more into this in a second, where I'm not sure how much it matters at this point, but we have Gronowski for 1 year. But the ability to hit a throw like that opens up his game so much. It just opens up the playbook a lot.
Oh yeah. No, I thought he was down and out on that play, and he just was able to find him.
Kind of tossed it right over.
Yeah, and great pass, great catch.
And the tush push, ran a tush push. That was fun.
Yeah. That was nice. Love that.
Yeah, and then halftime happened.
Yeah, and they were like, "Hey, we have a guy called."
They're like, "Oh yeah, we have the number one
Makai
receiver
Lemon.
in the NFL draft this year."
Yeah, and I don't even know where to start. Oh my God. It was just like one of those things that I was just like sitting there and I was like, everyone around me, didn't have a stake in the game. We're like, oh yeah, like Iowa looks great. Like, whatever their defense is, not really knowing. And I was just like, dude, like, I feel like, well, I said this about the Indiana game. And then I said that, well, I didn't really say it about Oregon because I wasn't really able to watch much, but against Indiana, I was like, they're going to start just airing it out. Like it's going to happen. And luckily against Indiana, it really didn't until that last play that screwed us for the touchdown. But that wasn't even like they aired it out. They just ran a slant. Where this is, they just cooked us. Like Lemon and what's the other guy's name? Jacoby Lane as well. They just, Makai Lemon, 10 receptions, 153 yards and a touchdown. And then Jacoby Lane, 7 receptions, 65 yards. Yeah. It was all Makai Lemon. Like, he was just killing us.
Lemon. There was that point where they made that, it was like he was kind of running a slant route about 20, 25 yards downfield, and they just hit him on the move. He just arms out, extended, pulled that ball in, and I looked at Cassidy and Michael, and I was like, God, wouldn't it be nice if we could have a receiver that could do that? Like, if we just had a guy that could do that, God, like to be spoiled like that would be awesome. It was just such a good catch.
It felt like every pass they made, the wide receivers were just making like ridiculous catches. Like
everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Like Maeva was throwing,
like the throws were good, but they weren't
passes.
Amazing.
Yeah, they weren't amazing, but it was just pretty much like he knew I could just throw it up to him and they're going to make the catch. Mm-hmm. And kind of what I've been saying all year, which is I've always felt like our secondary was a little bit weak one-on-one with, some of these better players. And kind of every year or every game we've seen when they go up against like real competition, they've been beat a lot. Like even in that Maryland game, like Maryland, right? Rutgers. Every single week I get it wrong.
Rutgers.
It just stung because it was literally everything. And the same thing, I was sitting there and I'm like, if we could just have a guy like this that like we could just, when we needed to make a pass, like not even be mad if he missed it. Like just being like, throw it up to him. If he misses, but he's going to catch that 80% of the time. Yeah. And we haven't had a guy like that in forever.
No. And that is the nice thing. Like I've talked about a few weeks ago where it's like, that is the nice thing about what this team is doing, even if they don't end up doing anything super special, is it is like kind of helping that national perception. And it hopefully, helps recruiting. And hopefully we end up with a guy like that, like down the road here. But God, the last receiver we had that I was like, that I had like, fuck it, he's down there somewhere confidence in is like probably McNutt.
Yeah. We could talk about this. I didn't put it in the doc, but talk about this later. But Iowa did get their third 3-star wide receiver that decommitted from UCLA and is now committed to Iowa. I know 3-star isn't big, but that's kind of
for a
huge.
Receiver for Iowa. That's pretty big for.
I don't think they've had a like more than a 2-star. I could be completely wrong, but I don't know if it hasn't felt like they've had like legit wide receiver prospects in forever. Like I don't know what Vanderzee was, but also all 3 of these guys are out of state, which is pretty big. Also,
I forgot Marvin McNutt played in the NFL for a while.
Yeah, Vanderzee was a 3-star as well, and that was like a big deal that we got him. And
before that, it would be maybe one of the 2 Smiths, and then before that, it is probably McNutt or DJK. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I forgot to mention this last week. When I was in Iowa City for the Oregon game, I saw a license plate, and it just said McNuts. I thought that was very funny.
I like that.
Yeah, but going into that second half, it was just so. Going into this game, everybody that I was there with, for the most part, aren't like. They're football fans, but they're not like football fans like we are football fans,
Yeah.
And so I was a little bit pessimistic going into this game. I was like, look, I'm just trying to be realistic. I don't want to get my hopes up. Like, we do not play well on the West Coast. USC is a very good team. I've not lost at home by less than 20, I think, this season. I think their closest game was against Michigan, and that was like a 20-point win. And everybody was like, why are you being so negative? Like, and I was like, look, I'm not. It's called the reverse jinx. This is all strategic. Like, I'm not being negative. I'm just trying to be realistic here.
You got to go into it, especially you go all the way out there. You got to have some expectations of like, all right, I'm, if you have like expectations they're going to win, and then they lose. The rest of your night, it's just going to suck way more. Where like you go into it with, like I went into like these last few weeks no expectations. I'm like,
Exactly.
I think we could
Yes.
win. I also think we could lose.
I hope we do. I'm not going to put anything on it. I'm not going to stake anything on it.
Exactly.
But like I kept like showing them all this. Like I was trying to just find all the stats that are like, look, this is how tough of a game this is going to be. One of my favorite ones that I found that Hawkeyes were 0-4 on their last 4 games on real grass. So now 0-5. Speaking of that grass though, let me tell you something about LA. It rained the entire fucking time we were there. That city is not made for rain. It is just standing water everywhere you go. At halftime, they literally went out there with leaf blowers, and they had a guy with like 5-gallon buckets bailing water out the field like it was a pirate ship. It was crazy.
Yeah, I saw I saw a little bit of that before the game, but yeah, I didn't see that at halftime.
They also,
or whatever.
this might be what got us. They, of course, with the leaf blowers, they blew all the water onto our sideline. So
Of
you know that
course.
was kind of bullshit. We were playing with a trench foot in the second half.
Yeah, fucking LA
yeah.
people.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, but like we got to halftime and it was going so well, and they were all like, "Oh, like, what? Are you still negative now?" And I'm like, "Guys, there's still an entire hour of football to be played here." And
Yeah.
there we go. That we saw it. It was just.
I mean, it was right away, right out of half. I mean, USC went down. I know what they went down 70 yards, I think. Yeah. Let me look at the play-by-play. Yeah, out of the half, 9 plays, 70 yards in 3 minutes and 50 seconds. For the field goal, we did hold them, but you could see that Maeva was starting to heat up right out of the bat. That's why, like, kind of getting into that out of half, that we get to 3rd and 9 when we get the ball back, or not 3rd and 9, 4th and 3 at half at like 50-yard line, and we punted it away. I think right there, you know that they came out hot. I know it was just a field goal and we're up and you're trying to pin them, but Dakin hasn't proven that he can pin them regularly all year. And it's 4th and 3. Like, we should be able to get it with our running, or, you know, just with Gronowski. Like, you should be able to get those yards. And if you don't, chances are, you know, they get it at the 20, even the 10 versus getting it at the 50. Like, they're probably going to get points with just how they were going. I understand it's the beginning of the half. They haven't, you know, hadn't proven much, but after, like, I think it was 3 separate, like, 15-plus yard passes out of half for Maia, like, I think you go for it there.
And I think you put in here on the spread on the sheet the play calling, and I think that was one of the biggest differences from the first half to the second half. Where in that first half, like, we went out there and like just threw the book at him. You know, we were playing to win the game. Like, we knew it was a tough opponent. We knew it was a different kind of play style than we were used to. And in the second half, we had built up a lead, and we went out there and we, as we've talked about again before on this podcast, we went out there and we played not to lose as opposed to win. And I think if you go out there and you keep calling plays like it's still a 0-0 ball game, and you're still calling plays like it's the first half, I think our shots are better. I think we went real conservative in the second half, which, as I said, the second half is kind of when it stopped raining. If there was a time to try to do some of those longer plays to air it out a little bit, it was then. And we just started playing not to lose.
Yeah, exactly. And I definitely, and obviously that hurt us. And I mean, also the thing is like, if you look at the, you know, Iowa only got the ball 4 times in the second half. They only ran 12 offensive plays until that final drive.
That's crazy.
Like, I was kind of like, I was like, oh, like, the play calling wasn't good in the second half. And I felt like, you know, this and that, but which it still wasn't good. But yeah, if you look at it, 5, you know, right out of, you know, 5 plays, 25-yard punt. Also on that punt, Dakin only punted it to like the 18.
Yeah.
You need that within the 10. Like, you punt it at the 50, you need that within the 10-yard line. Like, I know we've been spoiled with, Troy Taylor and such, but he needs to pin that. Like, that's a waste of a drive that he punts that to the 18.
I saw a tweet right after that. I was walking to the bathroom right after that, and I was just like scrolling through Twitter, and somebody was like, that was a situation where Troy Taylor puts that ball inside the 5-yard line and changes the outcome of this game. And instead they've got room to work with back there. Like,
again, like as I just said, like a few minutes ago, it didn't matter that they got it at the 18-yard line versus if Iowa went for it and didn't get it and it turned it over at the 50. Like, it didn't matter.
Agree. Yeah.
With how good their offense was. And I know at that point, the first half wasn't good offensively for them. So he's maybe Kirk's maybe thinking, hey, you know, I know they just went down the field pretty easily, but we did stop them. They only kicked the field goal out of half. I do understand it. We're looking at this, if they go for it and they make it, or if they pins it within the 5 and they punt it away, this isn't a story.
I get
But
that in
that's
the
also
fourth
football.
quarter, but there's still a lot of game left to be played at that point in the game. And it's just like, I don't know, like I just said, like the playing not to lose. It's like USC is not the kind of team you can do that against. They're just, they can get so hot so quickly that you can't let out the hammer. You have to keep building the lead. And it was kind of a thing that I noticed a lot in this game, where we talked a lot about like how we've brought like Oregon and Washington down to Big Ten levels, like fuck their West Coast offense. Like, you're playing Big Ten football now. But like, it was very like interesting to me how like the Iowa and the USC game, it did somehow still meet in the middle of the, like, Iowa kind of went a little crazier, aired it out a little more, went a little Lincoln Riley with the play calling. USC put it on the ground, and like, it wasn't like a crazy West Coast game, and it wasn't like a knockdown drag out Big Ten game, and it really did find a way to meet in the middle. And the problem is, in the second half, we stopped trying to meet them in the middle, and we went into our Big Ten football mode. And it just, if you play good defense, that works, and if you don't, it doesn't. And as we talked about, Lemon is a very good receiver, and he's able to beat that kind of play style.
Yeah, he took over the game, and that's exactly like, exactly how we lost. I mean, they have no one like that to pass to. Their offense probably goes dormant for the rest of the, not dormant, but like, when you have a guy like that first half, whatever the game plan wasn't working, they just decided, hey, we're going to throw it to Lemon. We're going to throw it to our NFL caliber wide receiver and see what happens. And guess what? Like, they completely opened up the game. Yeah.
And the runs got better after that too, because you got to start putting extra people on the pass, and it all fell apart.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I genuinely think at this point in the season, our best receiver does look like Weejan. And he almost became that guy for us on that last drive. I mean, it's in here. We talked about it a lot, that inches, centimeters from a first down.
And I mean, in a second, we'll get into the refs, but I don't think that one specifically, the Weejan not making that catch along the sideline, obviously for the turnover on downs, what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I've seen it be called both ways. I've seen it be called a catch. That's why it's frustrating.
I think if it was called a catch on the field, we'd have had more of a chance.
Yeah.
I think the problem is, you can see in some of the angles, it looks like his foot's down inbounds, and maybe it is, but it also looks like it's not fully down. And when it comes fully down, his toe definitely is on the line. I'm not upset about that call. I'm upset about a lot of calls. That's not necessarily one of them.
Yeah.
No, but it 100%. Is just like God, so fucking close.
All year. It's just the centimeters all year. It just hasn't gone our way.
There's a great tweet that I'll put in the link dump. It is Jack Leto's the guy that tweeted it. I'm not actually sure who that is. But it says, I don't think they're 4 plays away from being undefeated, but if these 4 plays go a few inches in a different direction, I could have a much different season. And it is that interception against Indiana, that passed into right into his hands and against Oregon, and then this toe touch, and then I'm actually not sure what this one, the Iowa State one is. It's just every game 1 play away from winning. It's one play. It's one of those years. Like we've said that in last week. Like I forget who, one of like the main Iowa people, I can't remember if it was before the USC game or after, but he was like, one of these games like has to go our way. Like there's no way. And of course like it just happens again. And to be fair, that was kind of the Penn State game. I mean, that one did go our way.
Yeah, that is true. It's just sadly that they are not
that quality of an opponent this year.
Yeah. As much,
we were joking.
Even well, you're saying.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, we were joking. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
See, this is what happens when we're virtual.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say I probably just lost my train of thought, but yeah, I lost my train of thought. You go.
So we were just joking before the game or something. Someone was making a joke about how they always say the Midwest is God's country, and they're like, "Are we not like God's football team?" And I was like, "No, we are not God's football team." I was like, in fact, I wouldn't say that we're not God's football team. We're just, he doesn't care about us. It goes one way or the other. And I said, how it goes is every time God remembers that Hawkeyes exist, he flips a coin like Javier Bardem in No Country for Old Men, and we just see which way it goes. And it has not gone our way this season. Some seasons it did. 2009, 2015, it fucking went our way. Like that 2009, especially that Michigan State 4th down play in the end zone to McNutt, that went our way. This year, it has not gone our way.
Yeah, no, 100%. And that's what's frustrating is like anyone else from outside of Iowa is going to look and be like, well, they were close. They haven't beaten any of these good teams. This isn't, this is typical Iowa, like a typical Iowa team. It's like, no, like this team's actually good. Like in years
this
past,
is a good
we would
team.
lose against Oregon by like 30.
Yeah.
Like that's just like how those teams were. They would beat up on the lower guys, and then their defense would try, but they didn't have the offense. This year, like we have.
They're with every team they've played against.
Yeah, and I think like it is like, all right, which you can never ask for every year, but like of course this year we don't have I don't think we have a top 5 defense. Like years past, we've had a top 5 defense.
Yeah,
statistically, I think we are.
Statistically, we do, but
like again, I don't think the secondary is there. I don't think we get enough pressure than we did in years past. I mean, it's more like this is probably more on average of what we would get, but I'm just imagining like some of these years past of like those defenses with this year's offense. Like I think that's a top 15 team in the country, top 10 team in the country. Like,
speaking of us not being God's team, the real slap in the face after this game ended. I don't know if they showed this on the broadcast, but almost the second the game ended, a rainbow appeared right over the torch at the end of the Coliseum. Here, let me send you this picture really quick. Cassidy, I couldn't bring myself to take a picture of it. Cassidy did take one. And I am glad she did, because this has to go in our link to them. Because this was the most insulting thing I have ever seen in my life. It was just... It made us feel like it was a movie. When that happens, Iowa would be the bad guys. But as we'll talk about probably right now here, we were not the bad guys. We were getting our fucking hose that entire game. And to see that rainbow appear was just such a massive slap in the face. Where'd she put it in this? Here it is. It doesn't show up as well in the picture as it did in person, but it is literally directly over the torch. Like the second the game ended, you can still see the players on the field.
It literally ends like right on top of the torch.
Ends right over their torch on the end of it. I'll put this one on screen if I remember when I'm editing this, but it'll be in the link dump for sure. It is the most ridiculous thing I have ever seen. I could not believe
that game, after that rainy ass game.
Yeah. And it lasted maybe 3 minutes. The game ended, the rainbow appears, 3 minutes or so, everyone walks to the field and it's gone. It was so bullshit.
Fuck that.
Yeah,
Fuck USC.
Which I don't know. Maybe this is
LA.
just USC's year.
I mean, they look good. I don't know if their defense will hold up, but their offense will.
Yeah. I was very excited to see them play Oregon when we still could have beat them and made the playoffs if they did.
Yeah.
That's still going to be a good game. Honestly, I think I'm rooting for Oregon at this point. At least the Oregon fans were chill about it.
No, fuck it. Literally, one of my best friends is a USC fan. He's like a nice one, but he went to Indiana. It's more his rest of his like family went to USC, so he's like like his grandpa went to USC. Like there's almost legacies, and he was just like, nah, I'm going to Indiana. But so he's chill. But I was just like texting him, and I'm like, fucking like. I was just texting him throughout the game. But I've always told him, I'm like, fuck USC. And he's like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I get it. And hey, fuck the refs, because this is one of the most atrociously reffed games I can remember seeing in the last 10 years. This is a game, I don't say this often, and I know this is the first time we've ever done this podcast, but I don't think I've ever said this. Mm-hmm. Where the officiating genuinely affected the outcome of the game, in my opinion.
Yes, I completely agree. And I think, I try my best. Like, I get mad at refs at times, but at the end of the day, after the game, I'll be like, I don't think it made a difference. I think it
genuinely made a difference this time. And it started, the one that I haven't really seen talked about, but was honestly the most egregious thing to me, is at the end of the first half. We have that penalty at the end that sets us back, so we're out of field goal range. And then they just hand it off to Moulton. Moulton runs up the field for 12, 13 yards, back onto the very fringe of field goal range. And when we ran that play, here I have the box score up. How much time was left on the clock when we snapped that ball? We snapped that ball with 7 seconds on the clock. He ran right up the middle. he was wrapped up and fully stopped with a good 4 or 5 seconds on the clock. The referees, they stood him up so he didn't get brought down. And the referees walked out on the field. They were watching it. And the second that clock hit 0 is when they blew the whistle to stop forward progress. We had a timeout at that point. There should have been 3 seconds on the clock when they blew that whistle. We should have had 2 seconds it would have been a long ass field goal or a long ass throw, but absolutely should have been one more play in that half. I haven't seen it talked about a whole lot. And that is a purely judgment call on the referees. And it's not even like it was, he was stood up. Maybe he wasn't moving for a long ass time. But what's weird about it, or what bothered me so much about it too, is that it was the second the clock hit 0. Like the clock hit 0, the whistles all blew, to the point where the referees were watching. They were
almost waiting. Yeah,
they were waiting. Like, okay, half's over. Now we stop the play.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised at all with how this game went. It was, they were so I don't know about checked out, but it was they were not reffing the game. I didn't. You texted me about that one, and I think after I remember him running it, but I think pretty much when he started running, I started focusing on work because I was like, all right, that's the half, so I don't think I saw that. But I would not bring it past these refs this game that happened.
That was honestly the most egregious thing to me. Before which we'll talk about last, but before the last thing that happened in the entire game, which we're still not sure what happened. But before that, I mean, just the holding was atrocious.
Aaron Graves was getting held every single play. It was every single play. It was so stupid.
The worst one to me was the worst missed hold, which there were a lot of just going for the quarterback missed holds. But the worst one to me was, I don't know, was it, how do you pronounce this guy's name? Is it Mavea?
The quarterback, Maeva. I've been saying Maeva. I could be wrong, but
I don't remember if it was he was scrambling or if it was like a quick check down pass or even just a handoff. But they were going around the outside to the right, and I think it was Entranger or somebody in the secondary had come up to make the tackle. Or no, it was somebody on a block. They got around the blocker and literally he got grabbed by the shoulder pad and pulled down, and then he ran for about 6 more yards. Completely a hold that was directly affected the tackle. He was there to make the tackle at the line of scrimmage, got pulled down by a shoulder pad, and it was a 7 or 8 yard gain.
And he had nothing. I was screaming at the TV at that. Literally, everyone in my that was not the beginning, but I was just that was when I was starting to really get frustrated because I was we weren't really getting to him as much as we probably should have.
Agreed.
And then it was when we actually we were getting held out the ass and just nothing. And the one that really pissed me off, which I wrote in here, which is a similar play, was that I don't know exactly who rushed them, but it was their second. It was their touchdown drive to take the lead to take the lead, and it was a few plays before that. Maeva was in the pocket, and he was kind of being rushed from his left side, I believe. Same thing, complete hook, almost getting dragged down our offensive lineman, and he throws it downfield, and then Iowa gets a pass interference call. That was third down, and
is that the one? It was the downfield pass interference call.
Yeah,
that one was so bad because he literally got pulled down and then went over the top of, and they called PI on us.
Yeah. Well, that and then on top of the fact that there was a holding call, that's what I was saying. There was a holding call, when we were rushing Maeva when he threw that, and then they called the PI, which also wasn't a great PI.
That I didn't see the holding call because again that was on the opposite ends of us. But that PI call was so bad that when they threw the flag, I started screaming, cheering because I was like, "That's OPI. That's 100% OPI." Because literally they're coming down the field. There's a great picture. I wonder if somebody has this picture. There's a picture of me because the people behind me were like, "Wait, why are you cheering?" And I was trying to demonstrate why it was OPI to them. And there's a photo of me demonstrating this because I just he grabbed him by the collar, pulled him into him and his head down a little, and then puts his hands over the top of him to try to make that catch. That is textbook OPI. There's a great photo of me doing that to Cassidy, trying to demonstrate the thing. And I was explaining this to them, and I hear them go, pass interference defense. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? How?
Yeah, no, that whole play sequence, I was just all right, it's rigged.
It was
Like,
so bad.
I hate being that guy. I hate being that guy to blame the refs. But my God, it was just one thing after another. And then I know the USC fans are going to be like, well, you missed. There was like one in the end zone that they threw it up. I think it was on Lemon. And they were both like fighting for it. And Lemon didn't catch it. And they were like, that should have been pass interference. And I'm just like,
I don't think it should have been either.
And I'm like,
I saw that play.
I was like, sure, they have called it before. They literally called an egregious one that you just talked about against Iowa. I don't think that one was way less than that.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't offensive pass interference. Like it was mind boggling. Like every game, like I literally stopped, like obviously I was watching, but I was just like getting less and less like hope for that, we'd actually come back and win, because I was just like, there's no way. And then,
I mean, anytime we got momentum, it was just stomped on.
Yeah. I mean, I actually started laughing when Weegent brought the kick, the kick return back, and he's out of bounds and gets like shoved, and they throw the flag, and then I just see the back judge. Literally, I saw the back judge run up, just shaking his head like no, and I was just like, he's gonna pick it up, and everyone else is like, no, they never picked that up. Like literally, that's what I was being told by these people in the studio with me that have no no dog in the fight. They were like, no, they never picked that up. And I was like, no, watch. Like that's how this game's going. That's how the refs have been. And then, they picked it up. And I was like, how do you
can't
do that?
throw that flag and then pick it up. Like he was, again, I was on the opposite side of the field as us, but regardless of how far out of bounds he was, he had come to a complete stop and was out of bounds.
Yeah. Like it wasn't egregious.
To hit him like that. Yeah.
Like it wasn't egregious. I understand. I get it. It wasn't egregious, but you threw the flag. And it was a hit out of bounds. It wasn't like, it just wasn't a big enough hit out of bounds. Like that's literally what they were saying.
And it was a pretty hard hit too. He just wasn't that far out of bounds.
And he also just didn't get wiped out. Like, it was, I mean, it was just such it was like that the whole game. Mostly in the second half. It did feel like it was just like the second that, I know you said the one in the first half, but it just literally felt like, Iowa's winning by too much.
The biggest one, obviously, is that face mask. One of the most game-defining ones, and also one of the ones that I don't understand how you can miss the most. Mm-hmm. Moulton's running the ball. This is another one happened. It was kind of in the middle of the field. Moulton runs the ball, and I see him get tackled, and he gets fully spun around. And I was kind of like, that might have been a face mask. Like, you don't just spin around like that on a normal tackle. Like, that's just not that just doesn't happen like that, how you get tackled like that. And I was like, if that was a face mask, that was an egregious face mask. Because, I mean, he, again, facing forward and gets spun around at 360. I was like, if that was a face mask, I would have called that a face mask. Yeah. Whatever, game goes on, next play, we throw that pick. Because, it was
also,
third and
again,
long or something.
A ridiculous bounce that all of our interceptions have been.
Insane. Such a crazy bounce.
Like,
and that bounce later that ended up hitting the ground where, like, Van Der Zee, like, kind of tossed it back up in the air, and I think Gill caught it or something. Yeah. Thought that we caught that for a second. Mm-hmm.
Just such a game defining play. Like,
not a single bounce has gone our way this year.
No. And it was just like I literally was like everyone was laughing because I was just like losing my mind at work. Like I was just like, of course, like
I was losing my mind in the stands.
Yeah, I was like, we don't get the call, and then we don't get the call, and then it fucking hits like the worst bounce ever. Like it was just one thing after another.
Yeah, but I mean that face mask was that should have been a first down. Moulton gets it. I'll put this video in the link dump. It's the most obvious face mask. It's not like it's a finger in the face mask. It is a full hand wrapped all the way around the face mask, grabs him by the face mask, fully spins him around and brings him down by the face mask. He doesn't get tackled by anything but his face mask. He is not in a pile.
It's crazy.
There's two blockers kind of near him. He's not like obstructed view whatsoever. Oh, just totally obvious face mask, not called.
Yeah. And it's the fact that you should not miss that. But also like a few, I don't know when it was, but it was like a few plays later, they also missed.
It was the next
when
drive.
Iowa, when Iowa got it back, there was another. It wasn't as egregious, but it's like, how do you miss that one then? Like you literally just missed a huge.
And the other one, there's nobody around him. It's not. He doesn't grab the face mask for the full tackle, and not as long. But there's nobody around him on that one. Like
100%. And like it's just like a lot of times, I know this isn't how you should officiate, but a lot of times, like, all right, you miss a huge call, you kind of call the ticky-tack ones. Mm-hmm. And
exactly.
It literally just felt like they were like, oh, well, we missed an egregious one. We're going to miss more. Like, haha. Like,
Yeah. Oh, here. So I'll just link this. There's an article that somebody. It's a very Homer article, but as honestly as it should be. Just the bad officiating. I'll just link this because it has a lot of the clips we've talked about in here. There's this other one at the end of the game on the pass interference in the end zone. But there's a missed hold, and then there's the pass interference in the end zone that gets flagged also. After the fucking bullshit rainbow and all of that stuff, I just couldn't even like really process the loss at the end of that game. Because walking out of that stadium, my only question was like, what the fuck just happened? Like, why did the game end? What happened? Because nobody said to, like, this is Wednesday now. Still, nobody really knows what happened. Nobody's really sure why that game ended. They call a unsportsmanlike conduct on an assistant coach, first down USC, victory formation, game's over. And they didn't say what it was for. There wasn't a single replay on the TV. Nobody can even find like a reporter that has video of this. There's no video of this penalty taking place to begin with. And Kirk asked about it in the press conference. They said like what happened, and he said, from what I understand, it seems like it was Phil Parker, which makes sense. We were on defense. He's trying to get a play call or something. And Kirk said like, oh, he stepped out onto the field. That was it. Like that's all that happened is he stepped over the field, which by rule, that should be a sideline warning. We didn't have a sideline warning yet in the game. Like, sure, give him the sideline warning, whatever. To go straight to a foul or to a flag there at any point in the game, ridiculous. Unless he like spit on a ref, that should not go straight to a flag ever. And even worse, to end the football game on that. To take away Iowa's, I mean, we were going to have the ball with like 15, 20 seconds left. We had maybe two passes. Chances were slim.
But still,
but they were not zero.
That's football. It's college football. Like you play those out, and it's ridiculous that what pissed me off
the game on that.
What pissed me off the most is that they have the USC. You know, after they called it, you have the USC coaches and everyone else freaking out. They're jumping up and down on, literally like getting close to, they're freaking out, and the refs give them a warning.
They gave them a warning after that? Are you serious?
No, they gave USC a sideline warning on the exact same fucking play.
I didn't even know that.
Yep. They gave him a warning on the exact same fucking play.
That's ridiculous. Because, again, like no one ever, like the refs, this is why refs need to do press conferences. Because people aren't even really sure what the fuck happened. Nobody's even really sure why that flag came out. And to end the football game on that flag is...
They wanted to go home like that, like literally, like it was like any USC fan wants to argue about shit, like literally on the same exact play, two sidelines did two different things,
and were punished differently.
To be honest, the USC people freaking out, and they had probably players or something on the field too. Like I'm not 100% sure, but the fact that like what Phil Parker stepped onto the field a little bit.
Like down
behind the play,
behind where the play is going on.
They're looking for something. That's literally they're looking for something, and then they're like, "Oh, well, USC's kind of doing the same thing. We'll give them a warning." It's fucking just bullshit.
If a ref walked out there and like started throwing slurs at, or if a coach walked out there and like started throwing slurs at a ref, or is like hitting somebody or shoving a ref or like spitting on opposing players, and it is a warranted flag, like. Something super bad and egregious like that, and you're going to end the game on that, I get that. But by the sounds of everything, that's not at all what happened.
No.
And to end the football game is just taking away the opportunity for just completely taking away Iowa's last opportunity.
Yeah, no, and I literally saw like a tweet because I was working and I didn't actually listen, but I saw a tweet and they were like, oh, they asked what you said, like they asked Kirk, and he was like, oh, well, he literally stepped over the line. I was like, oh shit, like he stepped over the line. Like again,
I interpreted it as that too. Like, wow, like he stepped over the metaphysical or the metaphorical line.
Yeah, I was like, oh, if Kirk's saying that, then okay, fine, that's fine. But then he's like, no, like he stepped onto the like
over a physical line onto the football field, and you're like, oh wait,
like that's all he did. Like that happens every game in every like division in every like.
And even if we had a sideline warning at earlier in the game, I could be like, okay, that's fucking bullshit to end the game on that. But we have the warning. We didn't have a warning. There was no warning. That also took away so much from what as a neutral, as an Iowa fan, that game fucking sucked. As a neutral, took away from what was a phenomenal football game.
Oh yeah,
it was Iowa's offense doing something you don't normally see it do, and then a crazy comeback by a good USC team and making a playoff run. And the Reddit thread and all of Twitter after the game, everything was just like, does anybody know what just happened? Why is the game over? Why did that game end? And nobody knew. Nobody has an answer. Nobody still has an answer. And it just completely made the game about that call after what that entire thing just was about that one instance.
It's just, it almost ended perfectly with how that second half was going, with just the refs, with just everything felt like it was going against the Hawks. I don't want to be sitting here being like, oh, we're the victim, we should have lost. Like, I think Iowa could have done a lot of things to win that game despite, of the refs. But
and the thing is too, every time we did start to do those things though, a call would come in and like offset that or stop that momentum. That was the other thing that was so frustrating, is it was like, we started making the throws, we started making the plays to win that game, to hold our lead, to make that like comeback at the end, and it just every time it got it got shut down, and that was what was so frustrating about it. It was like, this is talked about in basketball a lot, where it's like they weren't letting them play. There was just everything that Iowa did that was also the frustrating thing, is like we talked about the missed holds. Those did not go both ways, whereas they got called against us. Every little thing that we did that started to give us momentum got called back for some reason or another, and it just didn't happen the other way around. And it was very frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, there's no other way to put it.
And you put in here about the announcers. I saw a lot about this on Twitter, but obviously I wasn't listening to the announcers.
I didn't hear.
Where they seem to like justify everything, that all the calls, and like they seem to be very USC sided. And
it just feels like every time we play USC, it's like that. I mean, I don't even know who the two people were. Like literally, like again, when some of the other guys that I was with, they were like, "Oh, who are those guys?" And they're like, "Oh, like I guess they used to work for the Pac-12, and then they, Pac-12 holdovers." And it's like,
Classic.
of course.
Yeah.
And then like I guess they were awful. Like it seemed like on Twitter that they were awful. I mean, there was one point where I guess they said that like the one holding call they actually called against USC, that, the announcers were like, oh, well, Lutmer was acting on that play. And it's like,
and he was like, his jersey was ripped.
Yeah, it was like almost ripped off. And like, I think he threw his hands in the air, but like the fact that they weren't calling anything, the defense is going to act a little bit to finally get a call. Like,
yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I can't say too much about that because I didn't listen, but from everything I read, it was awful.
It was not good. Yeah.
Not a fun game. I mean, it was fun in the first half. That's what sucks. It was so fun in the first half.
Could have been such a memorable game. Like it was so good.
Now we're 14 plus against top 25
teams. Yeah.
It's just frustrating.
For the last 14.
We go again next year, I guess.
And we talked about it a little bit.
I meant more for like the top 25. Like, obviously we still have a little bit to play for this year.
We'll probably get a bowl game against a ranked team, I would imagine.
That's true. I feel like Iowa always gets a higher ranked opponent than they are because
we get good bowl draws because we travel well.
Yeah.
The Bulls won us there.
Yeah.
I was just going to mention, USC up to 15 now in the playoff rankings. If their only losses to Oregon, they're probably in.
Yeah.
If they win out, they're definitely in. So that'll be a good game. Which I think that's this week, is it not? I think that's like this weekend. I think it's it's Oregon at USC too. I think USC is home.
Yeah, it's at Oregon.
Okay, yeah. So I think if USC wins that, then they probably are both playoff teams. If Oregon beats them, USC is probably out. Maybe still in. I mean, they're still only a 3-loss team at that point, but
yeah.
I don't know.
What the next one's Michigan's at 18.
Yeah.
What can they do?
It would be if we get 4 teams in now. Michigan would be the last one. There's a very small chance maybe Illinois, but I think that's pretty much non-existent.
Oh yeah, I didn't even realize that Illinois is up to 21.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing I was going to say, we'll talk more about basketball, especially in the coming weeks here, because we start playing our real games. The women have played nobody real, and they've blown them all out.
Yeah.
The men played Xavier, who's a little bit better of a team, also blew them out. That obviously,
and even
not
I was
great
looking at
team,
Xavier. I was looking at Xavier,
Yeah.
and they lost to some nobody. Like, I don't think they're gonna have a good year anyway.
And obviously, we have our Thanksgiving tournament coming up, for the men at least, where I forget who we play in that. Is it Ole Miss? Yeah, it's Ole Miss.
Yeah.
And then obviously men and women's Iowa State games coming up soon, which they have good teams from both sides, so that'll be good. And then wrestling, we are ranked number 4.
They got smoked by Ohio State.
They got smoked by Ohio State. They did. So it was the National Duels Invitational. They did right before that. They beat number 5 Oklahoma State 18-16. So it was a close one. They ended up winning. They were number 3, and then number 4 Ohio State is who we played in was it the finals?
Yeah, it was the finals. Penn State wasn't in that.
Yeah, and lost 12-27. So not a great.
Yeah, I mean they what is it? What is it? They had like some unranked dude beat I think Ayala.
Ayla. I think it's just Drake Ayla.
Yeah. Like he got, I mean, it was like, I was like keeping up with it on Twitter, and it was
not a great showing.
I think we were down like 9-0 or something, like to start off, and I like threw it on for a second, and we were like, the next guy was down by 10 points himself, and I was just like, all right, I'm not watching this. Like,
yeah. No, I was obviously still in LA, so like we were just like getting dinner or something, and I'll throw just a couple of extra photos from the LA trip up on the link dump too. There's some fun. We were at dinner, and it was raining the entire fucking time we were there, like the entire time.
That sucks.
It was kind of crazy actually how much it was raining. We were soaked we were way wetter after that game than we were the Oregon game, because the Oregon game was like, it was just such a steady rain the whole day. Yeah, but I'll throw some of those extra photos up. But we were like sitting at dinner, and it was like pouring down rain, and Ari just texted me. He's like, wow, wrestling got killed. And I was like, wait, what? And I looked it up, and I was like, Jesus Christ, like 12-27 is not good.
Yeah,
it was
like they
real
didn't
bad.
even. Again, I was keeping up with it, and like none of them were like that close either. I don't think they were like getting upset left and right too.
I guess really quick, going back to the football game really quick, I would be remiss to not mention. So there's this thing that happened. My friend Colin brought up a great point where he's like, wow, we're like, that group of people that I went with are fucking 0-3 at football games now, because the first one that we went to was 2 years ago.
Why are you going?
It was we didn't really realize this until after that game. We finally put it together in our heads. First one we went to was the Minnesota game 2 years ago with the Cooper DeJean invalid signal, right?
Oh, no.
Lost that game, obviously. Did not go well. And then UCLA last year, horrible showing. And then this year, also horrible showing. So there was this thing that happened in the Minnesota game where Colin had a few beers, and he invented this thing he called the Mystic, which is where he decided that every team had a mystic, and the mystics decide the game. It was his way of saying that like God's not an Iowa fan, essentially. And he
not
was
on
like,
our side.
oh, we have to give like an offering to the mystic or something. It was just a dumb joke.
Yeah.
And then the dumb joke got exasperated at the UCLA game, where they made t-shirts that said that was like Iowa Mystic themed t-shirts. And I was like, I don't really want, this feels like bad luck to me. Like we got fucking,
bad juju.
we lost that Minnesota game. Why are we still sticking with this dumb bit? Like it's
We
not
lost
good
on
luck.
some crazy shit that shouldn't have happened too.
Yeah.
Like,
and they were like, like it was just a fluke or whatever. And we lost that game. And I told them then, I was like, I'm not doing this fucking mystic thing ever again. This is so stupid. And our friend Brian this year decided to dress up as a mystic, wearing a graduation cap and like a beard, like a wizard. I'll put this picture linked up. It did look very funny. It was a very good bit at the game, but he didn't wear it the entire first half. He put it on starting to the second half. We started getting our asses kicked, and then Michael made him take it off. He was like, you got to take this off. We're done with this. This is bad.
Why
luck.
would he
took
put it
off.
on? Why would he change it up after that first half? Why?
Things started going a little bit better when he took it off, and then he put on like just the beard again, and things started going worse again. It was like a test, I think. He put just the beard back on. Then he finally took it off. The game ended, and I was like, he finally took it off, and we were like, Colin was like, we're done. The Mystic is over. It's dead. He was like, we burn the robe. We burn the robe. We burn the wig.
100%.
And we haven't done that yet, but I think he saved them. So we might have to, before next season, do a little ritual burning. So if we do that, I'll post that on the channel.
So I guess another thing that we forgot to mention, but I guess the announcers in the game also was like, almost giving excuses for USC about how they have these injuries left and right or whatever. And then they didn't mention at all that most of our offensive line didn't end the game. Our starting offensive line didn't end the game because Bo Stevens, Cade Piper, Jennings Dunker all missed. I don't know how much time each, but they did not finish the game, which definitely did not help with like our offense not being able to produce in that final few drives. Yeah. But yeah, as Drew just said, they all are on starting on the depth chart going into next week.
Nwampa also listed. He played the whole game, but he said in the press conference after that he tweaked his hamstring in the third quarter and just kind of played through it. And they said he was limping pretty bad walking up to the post-game interviews. But, I mean, he's listed as playing, so that's a good sign.
Yeah. And they also have 5 running backs listed, which they have not had this year
yes,
so far.
I did notice that as well. Yeah.
Don't really think that means anything. I just think probably everyone's healthy
we have
for once.
5 all year, like a little bit. Which I guess Neal hasn't played that much in the past few games, has he?
I think because Patterson's been back.
And they might. So I guess getting into this week a little bit, Michigan State, not a great team, 3-7. They might play Neal a little bit more just because I think actually if he plays this game and not Nebraska, he could still preserve a red shirt, couldn't he? Because he's only played 3 so far.
Yeah. I guess it's depending on what we'll see. I mean, that'll be something to monitor this game if they do play him or not.
And I don't know how that works with a depth chart either. Like, I don't know if that rule changes if you're like actually listed on the depth chart as opposed to just coming in.
I mean, Michigan State has 7 straight losses, not looking good. The only Power 5 team they've beaten is Boston College, who also sucks.
Have not won a Big Ten game. As we've talked about, though, could be a trap game.
Oh, it could easily be a trap game. After 2 straight grueling games going in there.
You hope it's a revenge game.
It is home.
It is home. It is our last home game. It is senior day. It is also the last home game for the current Kinnick PA announcer. His name's Mark Abbott. He's done it for 26 years. This will be his last game.
Good for him.
Yeah, and he does a good job. It'll be weird not hearing him next year.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's good. It always like one of those things that you never like almost realize or like what's the saying? Like you don't notice it until like it's gone or whatever. Whatever the saying.
Yeah.
Like literally,
as a kid, I didn't even realize it was a dude. I just thought it was like the same voice for every stadium, kind of.
Yeah. Like when the Cubs did it at Wrigley, I was like, what? Oh my God, this is so different.
So 16.5 point favorites, over under 42.5. Money line's minus 900. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just 2:30 at Kinnick. This should be an easy win. I don't know. There's not a lot to talk about because
I'm kind of honestly
poorly. There will be, but
yeah, I'm honestly looking forward to watching it because I want to have fun and want Iowa to stomp them.
I'm excited to watch a game that I will hopefully not be stressed for.
Yeah. And we're saying all this, and it's going to be Iowa, and they're going to keep it close, and they're going to win 17-10, and it's going to be bullshit.
This is just kind of going to be a game where we had a lot to say about USC, and there's not a lot to say until we see how they respond.
Yeah, I'm drained from the USC game. I have nothing much to say about Michigan State.
And I think there'll be a lot more to talk about next week going into Nebraska, which could be a make or break game for a 5-loss versus 4-loss season, which is a big difference, especially for a Ferentz team. Yeah. You just have to get over this hurdle first. Not that it's much of a hurdle, but
it's still a Big Ten game. Yeah. Any team can win it any week. So
any given Saturday, Yeah. We'll probably be in person next week. I don't know. It depends. I don't know if I mentioned on this show, but my car got plowed into on the street.
Oh, I did not know that.
Oh, did I not tell you this either?
I did not know that.
No, my car got plowed into on the street the other week, and it's currently has a bent axle and is totaled, but I haven't been home to deal. It's probably totaled, and I haven't been home to deal with it. And I got the dude's insurance, but it's not good insurance, and so I can't get hold of them to figure out what to do. So I don't know what my plans for Thanksgiving are, if I have to get a ride with somebody or if I can just rent a car and the insurance pay for it. So depending on that will probably depend on whether or not we can do in person next week. But either way, we'll be here. We'll be talking. And then we'll definitely have an in-person one after the Nebraska game before the bowl season starts. Yeah, but I think that does it for this week.
Yeah. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Drew. Check us out on Twitter, Instagram. Link dump will be fishballsports.com/Hawks Melrose. Check us out there. Like, subscribe, 5-star rating. You know the drill at this point.
Yeah, appreciate anyone that does that. It really helps.
Absolutely.
We'll see you next week.